So Marcel, we've got a few things to work on here. You mentioned some yourself, but I think you should start off looking at the good things you're doing. You've got a real good improvement where you were a year ago. You've got really good turnover, nice and fast. You've got a lot more power, a lot of strength there. You're really good at working hard. You've got pretty good alignment, nice and straight. So we've got a good base to work on. I think the first thing that you should look at, really, instead of all the little things, because you could get a bit wound up with all the little nitty gritty details. I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. I think the first thing is to look at your approach, get a bit more scientific about things. If you understand what it is you're trying to achieve, it's a lot easier to achieve it. You don't want to just get in and do the circle arms and the splashy feet like when you're told when you're young. So the first thing to do really is look at simple swimming equation, which is that, let's pause this for a sec, that your speed equals your stroke length times your stroke rate minus your drag. So if you want to get faster, you can increase your stroke length, you can increase your stroke rate, so get more sprinty, arms turnover, or you can decrease your drag. So you don't want to do this one really. Increasing your stroke rate just makes you tired. You want to do this, increase your stroke length, because that increases your efficiency. So you're doing about 27 strokes a length. If you can do less strokes, then you spend more time with your arm underwater actually being effective, and less time out of the water being not so effective and efficient. But the first thing that you always concentrate on is reducing your drag. So how do you do that? There's two main things, and you kind of highlighted before how you're swimming uphill. So if you were to run a line down your body, we'd see that, and you're swimming through, if we're going to say there's a Marcel pipe, we'd say, taking it from the bottom of your legs, and maybe it's even lower, to here. Here's the Marcel pipe, and therefore here's the drag. Okay, so your drag is essentially that big. No, that's not very good, is it? We'd say it is whatever the height of those lines are from there to there. Say it's a meter. So that's a lot of drag. It's all these red lines. If you can make your pipe, say, that big, then you're going to be more efficient. So you do that a couple of ways, and one of them you mentioned was your head. It makes me sore just looking at that one, especially when you breathe, because you're looking, I don't know, we're looking about that. Your body, if you look at it, it's like a seesaw, and your pivotal point is about there. So anything that you raise north of here results in south of here dropping. So you lift your head and your feet drop. But vice versa, when you raise anything south of here, it drops north of here. So that's one thing that your kick does. Hopefully, if you do it effectively, you can do flick kicks, raise your feet up, and drop your head. So we bring mass up for two reasons. One is you're lifting your head. So this is so your head's going up, and that's meaning that your feet are dropping. But what is also happening is that your front arm, thumb's coming in a bit first there as well. So if we play this bit in slow motion, you can see that you're starting off, this hand's pushing down, and it's still pushing down here. If we look at your forearm, it's like that, pushing down. Okay, so now your arm is starting, we're on the 45 here, it's only just starting to push back water now. You've pushed this much water from the surface to here, and it's given you 0 push forward. This is a complete waste of energy. And not only that, it's increasing your drag because you're pushing down at the front, which is lifting up your head. So you push down there, and you're pushing against the water, which is pushing your shoulder up, which is pushing your legs down. If you can imagine, if you were to lie down flat at the surface of the water, and then with your arms, if you pushed them both down together, not swimming, if you're just lying there, and you push down with your arms, your head would pop up and your legs would drop. You're not doing it with both arms, you're doing it with just one arm. So you're again raising that point of the body north of your fulcrum here, and lifting that up and dropping your feet. So this brings us into our other point, which is increasing your stroke length. So by stopping that, and if you think, you're pulling in one length, you're pulling, if that's 1 meter, 27 meters of water, which is quite a bit of effort, which is making you slower because it's increasing drag and not pushing you forward. If you want to go that way, then you have to push water that way. And this is the approach that you need to have. So that's why I say, to start off with, don't concentrate so much on all the, you could pick 20 things that you need to improve, but just come from a perspective of, am I pushing water back? Am I reducing drag? So increasing that stroke length, you want to start off, if we look at, so this bit here, not too bad. You're nice and straight in the water, that's good entry. But then what you want to try and do is leave your elbow there as much as you can, and it's not easy. I have trouble doing it too. But if you were an Olympian, what you'd do is leave your elbow there and then flip your forearm to be like that, so it's pointing backwards, and then treat your whole forearm like it's a kayak paddle, and then push back with your whole paddle. And then your stroke length would be this long, instead of, so if your arm's here, instead of just being this long with this much wasted effort. So let's play that through slowly here. So when this bit, obviously we're missing that bit of pull at the start. Definitely concentrate on your pullback of when you put a line from your shoulder through to your hand. Always make sure that your elbow is above that line. That is going to make a big difference because it gets your forearm into play sooner. So, it's dropping a little bit there. So again, you want by this stage, definitely try and have your elbow that side of that line. so it's getting worse as we go. This is something that is really important. And then when your arms all the way back in line with your shoulder, your elbow, and your wrist should all be in line there. And then you do pretty well, I think, at the end of your stroke. So again, we can see that the elbow's the wrong side there, and then we're not getting that nice straight there, but this bit here is good. You see, you've got the forearm there is nice and straight, so you're pushing back water with all this, which is great. So from your elbow, using your whole forearm and using your wrist, because if you think that this is the only bit that pushes water, then you're missing out on most of your stroke. So you could maybe try and keep it a little bit more vertical, a little bit longer, not as far back as that line, and then your hand should be pointing a little bit straight back there, and then that gets plucked out when you lift your elbow out of the water. So this is the most important thing for you to concentrate on. And the second thing is your head, which kind of makes me, if we look as you're swimming up, it kind of makes me a bit sore just to look at. So it looks like your head's quite a long way out of the water. Not the best angle there. Yep. And you can see that you're looking right forward there. So you're lifting your head there. You see, when you're looking straight ahead, that's when you start your lift. If you could imagine, just as you're watching this, if you look up at the ceiling and then try and turn your head, you feel the crank in it, which is not the best. So another thing, you want to try and keep your knees a little bit closer together. You don't actually have to kick very much. You can just do a flick kick. Yeah, see, it's funny. Often when you turn, your legs splay a bit. You can just do a flick kick, which means that you would kick down on this foot to help drive this arm in. Part of getting that nice long stroke is you push your shoulder forward so that you can use your lats, because your lats, they're the biggest muscle in your upper body. They don't pull your arms, they pull your shoulders. So you want your shoulder to go forward. So I did add on a bit of me swimming, not that I'm the greatest. Actually, we'll just look at swim front on before we do that. You can rotate a bit more as well. Ideally, you should be out about here and here, and that should be about that angle, about 140 degrees. Doesn't look so bad on that side. Not too bad. I'm not sure how your shoulders are going, but not looking too bad really. You want to try and get that stretch out there. So just by comparison, I don't think I actually put in the right video. I was going to mention about front quadrant swimming to help try and get a bit more efficient, but actually let's not worry about that. So pretty good start, I think. Just concentrate on the balance to start off with. Get that head down. There's nothing to look forward. Well, I was going to say nothing to look forward to. You don't need to look in front of you. There's nothing to see there. Just look down and work on that balance, because that's going to make a difference. It's going to make a big difference. It's free speed with less effort. So work on that and we'll get together. Bye.